I'm gonna talk to the boss, man.
You're gonna talk to Shaq?
Yeah, man.
Good luck, bro.
Thanks, man. I'll need it. Hey, Mr. O'Neal?
I got some updates for you, sir. So, Kobe Bryant personally called you out for paying off a woman you sleep with and said you were a sexual assaulter. He also said he was the best Laker by a mile and called you out for playing horribly.
I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I figured, sir. He just in one news report he referred to you as a poopy head.
What?
A poopy head, sir.
Oh no. Get me in the booth.
That's Dame right. The daddy has to come out of retirement and spank one of these undisciplined children.
Hi there. Welcome back to Sports YouTube Video Channel.com. Athletes are some of the most impressive people on the planet who consistently pull off superhuman feats that most of us could only dream of doing. And through history, we've seen athletes do things that just blew our minds. But we've also seen athletes enter the recording booth to make their own music and blow our minds in different ways. Thousands of people have worked to become professional athletes, and very, very rarely, someone who's a professional athlete will also be a gifted and talented musician. And I mean very rarely. There's never been a true two-way superstar between the rap game and the NBA, despite both sides trying relentlessly. Today we're going after the hoopers, but I think that old motto that every hooper wants to rap and every rapper wants to hoop still reigns true. I mean, we saw what happened when J. Cole tried to hoop professionally. He's a rapper for a reason, and he's a great one because it's what he's worked so hard for. Now, when you really think of athlete rappers, I think the main one that comes up is Damian Lillard, aka Dame Dollar. Lillard cemented himself as an NBA great the last decade and a half, but he's never had much playoff success. Most players in this situation bail and team up with other superstars somewhere else. But Dame has instead translated his career to a solo art, one where he couldn't be dragged down by his teammates anymore. Just like Michael Jordan golfed to be the only player that mattered, Damian Lillard has taken up a solo rap career, so he doesn't have dysfunctional management preventing his success. Lillard's gotta be the best rapper athlete ever, and I want to play my favorite snip that shows Dame's ability. It's a freestyle he did on Sway in the Morning.
Childhood friends dropping like leaves in this autumn. Don't believe time is money. Money is time. When you focus, man, you look up and your money is fine. I'm from a city where your friend will put a gun in your mind. Cause you eating and they envy all that glory and shine. I swear to God it gets realer. A city full of killers, addicts walking around looking like the zombies off a Thriller.
Now, while Dame is the realest rapper, there's one guy who's arguably secured more fame and definitely has the greatest features list of any athlete ever. It may surprise you to know, but Big Shaq Diesel himself is one of the better players to ever step into the booth.
Cause if Biggie was still here, he would be right there on Star Island in the mansion somewhere. I'm a horse. Kobe ratted me out. That's why I'm getting divorced.
Ooh, that one's a self-burn.
He said Shaq gave a bitch a meal. I don't do that cause my name's Shaquille.
I feel like he just really needed to fit his name into a bar. That was the only way he could rhyme it.
I'm a family guy. He said it.
But amazingly, none of these lines are even my favorite of this 2-minute rap.
Now that's the difference between first and last place. Kobe, nigga, tell me how my ass tastes. Okay, Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes. Okay, everybody, Kobe, tell me how my...
But jokes aside, Shaq dropped a number of legit rap tracks and even some albums in the late 90s. This was a time period from what I can understand, people really believed Shaquille O'Neal could do anything he wanted to professionally. And seeing how Shaq has become a more child-friendly figure, he's willing to slap his face on anything.
This is Shaqflation. What? Dang, that's huge.
You know, looking at his younger, more vulgar and intense self, it brings a funny irony.
Kobe, tell me how my...
But Shaq's most impressive musical attribute isn't his discography or his sales numbers. Let me just read you an actual list of features Shaquille O'Neal managed to land. Biggie, Jay-Z, Rakim, Mobb Deep, and I swear to God this man hopped into a booth with Michael Jackson. I mean, this is an extensive list of A-list singers and rappers. Give Shaq his respect, man. So, we've only looked at basketball players who, for whatever reason, are always trying to make music. But there's some other sports that get theirs too. A quick shout out to Jack Johnson, who makes music that I've loved for a while and was actually a professional surfer before going full time. If you haven't heard Jack's music, I strongly recommend it. But our next entry steps away from the solo songs and brings the entire team together on a track. The 1985 Chicago Bears released a song titled the Super Bowl Shuffle right before the playoffs. They dropped the song after suffering their only loss of the 1985 season, and oh my lord, the balls on these guys. To drop a song right before the playoffs and then go beat every single team just like you said you would? They capped it with a dominating Super Bowl performance where they fulfilled the song's prophecy. But the song itself is nothing special. This basically just repeats over and over again with some player solos in between, and that's it. But it drags on for 7 long minutes. But when you release a song, you need a credited artist, and what might just be the best thing about this song is the band name the Chicago Bears Shuffling Crew being introduced to the world. This was sadly the only song the band ever put out, leaving people like me in 2023 still waiting for the band reunion. But what needs to be mentioned is that this song was nominated for a Grammy, alongside fucking Prince. And obviously Prince won, because obviously, but these two things went up against each other in a real competition. Okay, so Shaq had his beef with Kobe, and that wasn't even the only one he had. But there's been some other awesome athlete beefs that involve rap that we gotta go over. Floyd Mayweather has cemented his legacy as an all-time boxer, and his ego is never too small. 50 Cent, on the other hand, is a mega successful rapper who's built up somewhat of a hard and intense reputation for himself, you could say. And that's really all the background we need to get into these two's beef, which allegedly stemmed over Mayweather owing 50 some money. And I don't care about semantics or who was right or anything. 50 Cent won this beef. He takes the crown for providing the internet with some of the greatest clip videos of all time. So Floyd called 50 Cent a really mean, bad word, and let's see what his response was.
Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what'd he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fucking fiance. Say fuck that nigga.
But that wasn't it for this beef. See, at this time, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was trending, in which people would dump ice water on themselves and spread awareness about ALS. It was a great challenge, honestly, and it turned out insanely successful, but 50 Cent decided to use it to call out one of his good buddies.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. Fuck the bucket of ice, man.
Okay. Back to athletes making music, and one of my favorites ever has to be Carl Lewis. The former track and field athlete is one of the greatest sprinters and jumpers in history, proving to be basically more athletic than anyone ever. But again, Carl was an athlete, and he had worked his whole life to become an athlete for a reason. When he stepped into the sound booth, it was basically the opposite of the beauty he produced on a track. This time, we don't even need the lyrics. The video on its own would be more than cringe enough to watch. But why not add the lyrics and make it all the worse?
Make up your mind, join in, wow, you still can, yeah.
And you may think, oh, that's just his low point, he wasn't actually that bad. No, you're dead wrong. Sure, that wasn't his peak, but his true lowest moment in music is something that ended his singing career forever. Before a 1993 game between the Bulls and the Nets, Carl Lewis was selected to sing the national anthem. And he starts out pretty okay, if not a little weird rendition of the song, but just listen.
Oh, say, can you see? And the Rockets, red flag. Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. for the land of the free.
You really hate to see it. I almost feel bad for Lewis in this situation. His voice just failed him, man. That was not fully his fault. But while we're on the topic of actual singers, I need to point out who, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated athlete singers ever, if not for just one song. Victor Oladipo's name doesn't come up anywhere when searching for athlete musicians, but it definitely should. But before we get too far into that though, a quick word from my sponsor. I don't have a sponsor. I don't know why I cut to this. So back to Victor Oladipo, who has this one song that just like resonates with me. I don't even know. I heard it a long time ago, and it's a good song actually. Like I could actually play this in front of people and no one would assume that he's an athlete. And that's far from the truth with most athlete singers. So the song is called One Day. I'm gonna play a tiny snippet of it. I'm terrified of getting copyrighted for this.
It took 4 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and a Sunday for you to love me Monday. All it took was one day for me to love you. 4 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and a Sunday.
I mean, come on, that could have come on the radio 2012, and I would have been tapping my foot in the car, not even knowing anything. Seriously, you guys should all go check that song out. Go to Spotify, click on One Day. If you can't click on any song because you don't have Spotify Premium, But Victor Oladipo, that man is a true two-way superstar. He worked hard to become an all-star, and he's able to produce listenable music. And I say listenable music because, as we've learned so far, athletes don't usually succeed on the mic. And our next guy is a perfect example of that. Especially in a hockey player who's probably hit his head one too many times, this guy definitely shows how much musical ability is installed in the average athlete. And him getting hit in the head is the only reasonable explanation I can think of for this song, if you can even call it a song. Guy Lafleur is one of the greatest hockey players of all time, period. And after winning his 5th Stanley Cup, he wanted to cash in on his popularity a little bit. Lafleur figured that music would probably be the best route to take, but there was one big problem. He didn't make music. Just like most guys, he had worked his whole life to be really good at hockey, not music. But uniquely, he used his hockey ability to help him in the sound booth. Instead of coming up with complex lyrics and rhymes over your own beat, Guy Lafleur just sat there and told you how to play hockey. But he did it with sick disco beats over the top.
Once you have mastered a good shot, you must learn when to use it. It's important when you practice your shots to always shoot towards the target. Control of any shot comes.
And the cool part about this, aside from the sweet graphic design they did on his name, is there was an actual video recorded for this. But that video is just literally them panning over the cover of the record. I don't know, man. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the few guys who have actually done it. Rarely, a professional athlete tries out music and actually likes it better than the sport. Wayman Tisdale, despite having an awesome name, played a long 12 years in the NBA, paving a good career for himself. But he retired after that 12th season to pursue his true passion, music. Tisdale was an awesome jazz performer, charting 8 studio albums and a Billboard #1 song. And I love how he waited until he was one of the best players in the world to realize, no, this isn't for me, and he went to jazz. Like, he was a known veteran in the league before just picking it up and retiring. And Tisdale's not the only athlete who's made it big in music. Former Cincinnati Bengals offensive lineman Mike Reed also became an artist after his playing days. Reed actually won a Grammy and wrote 12 #1 charting songs, providing him with the title of probably the best athlete musician of all time. So if you thought Damian Lillard was the only one, do some homework and check out these guys. It's rare but not impossible for an athlete to make it in sports and music. But come on, you and I know that's not the best part. Those guys deserve their flowers for what they did, but 99% of athletes making music is just atrocious. And that's what we're here to see. You guys don't want to see Mike Reed jamming in front of millions of people. You want to see...
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
And don't worry, I got more of that for you. Troy Hudson carved out a nice 11-year NBA career for himself after going undrafted. He also released a rap album with the ever so creative title of Undrafted. Okay, I'm sorry, that has to be like the most basic name possible for a sports song. And the music itself is not much better. Sticking with the super creative name trend, this song is called I'm a Gangsta. Let's give her a spin. I'm just gonna click play from the beginning and see how this goes. Okay, wait, I'm sorry, stop. Isn't that the regular show intro? Okay, we get to like 30 seconds in before we hear a word, so let's just skip a bit.
You can call it what you wanna, I'ma call it what it is. You can call it what you wanna, I'ma call it what it is.
That was about what I expected it to be. And you guys are actually now part of a pretty exclusive club of people that know that song exists. Because if you had to throw out a guess for how many units his album sold, what would it be? First week album sales. Maybe 10,000? 5,000? Maybe even 3,000? I mean, he's an NBA player. People are gonna listen. No. Troy Hudson sold 78 copies of his album in the first week. 78. I don't even know what joke to make with that. Even I get 78 hits on my videos. Sometimes. Now, Troy Hudson may just have the worst athlete rapper ever title locked down, at least in terms of effort to production. And if you guys have anyone worse that you know of, please let me know in the comments. Maybe give me like your favorite or least favorite song of theirs to play. There's plenty of athletes that have made music, so a part 2 for this video could always be possible. But before I go all outro on you, we do have one more. Now, we've talked about Shaq's rapping, and we've talked about Dame's rapping, but these two actually came to a head not too long ago. We know Shaq loves his player beefs, and Dame was his latest victim. It came to a head when Lillard said that he was a better rapper than Shaq in an interview with Joe Budden.
I think I rap better than Shaq.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Shaq quickly responded with an Instagram post that was a puppet, and just watch the Instagram video.
Time and spank one of these undisciplined children. Now it's time to be disciplined. It's time to pull up that belt and whip a little ass. Here we go. Joe, yeah, what's wrong with these little cats? I can tell they little, listen to they little raps. Always bragging about they little max contract. Dame Dollar.
And Lillard responded with a song and everything, but this beef's a funny one. Shaq's the better basketball player by far, and I'm sorry, but Dame is the better rapper by far, no matter how big of a Shaq fan you are. Yes, Shaq had amazing features, and he even sold 1 million copies, but Dame was pretty spot on when he said,
people wasn't looking at it like this a real rapper. It was like that's Shaq rapping. So
Yeah.
Of course,
and that's true. It definitely inflated his stats a little bit compared to his actual rap ability. It wasn't like people were like, Shaquille O'Neal? Who's this dude? Oh shit, he's fire! Like, no, majority of sales are coming because people know who you are previously. And Damian Lillard won't admit it, but even being a good rapper, he has the same issue. Dame makes good music, but he wouldn't have as big a following now if he wasn't in the NBA. That's undoubtable. And they both use this fact at each other as kind of a diss a little bit, but it's something that is unavoidable when you're an athlete rapping like this. Other than that, the rap beef was a little mild. It blew up social media and people were ready to discuss it, but there wasn't just much to discuss. The one thing that really pissed me off is they both couldn't help themselves from referencing basketball. I mean, the whole argument is that Dame was a better rapper, so when they say stuff like it's a good line and it's true, Shaq is better and he won more than Dame, but that's not what we're arguing right now. And this is from both of them. Dame did the same thing too, but it just shows me neither of them could physically stop themselves from talking about basketball. And I think that symbolizes athletes making music pretty well. No matter how hard they try, the athlete in them is going to come out. In 99% of cases, they're going to be better off sticking to sports. But it's that 1% of athletes that makes it, that gives hope and light to the other 99% to fail miserably. And it's beautiful, and we're here to watch it all. And that's all I got for you guys today. Again, if you enjoyed, please let me know by liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. And that's all. Bye. Other than that, bye.
I'ma call it what it is.